Well, I think Fame and Muscle Shoals Music is here because we're fiercely independent. We've been doing business with Bank Independent since the 70s, and to know that they've got our back, it means a lot. We've always been there, and it's always just been a phone call away.
From the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel, this is your weather, live at 5.
The incoming clouds across the area are giving us a nice looking sunset in some places. Here's a live look at the Arctic Air Skycam network starting in Lawrenceburg. And you see a pretty beautiful sunset here on the southwest horizon. Current temperature in Lawrenceburg, 41 degrees. So we finally cracked the 40s area wide today, just about. Dew point at 25. But you can see clouds are starting to roll in. They will continue to thicken as we get into the evening and the overnight. We'll slide down to the Shoals. Check out the University of North Alabama campus in Florence. This is Pine Street running down the middle of the screen here. 42 in the Shoals, dew point 23, and a beautiful sunset here on the western horizon in the Shoals as well. Viper live Doppler radar across the area is quiet. Well, we got Huntsville first though. Forgot to put our third Skycam in here. This is courtesy of a camera sharing agreement we have with our friends down in Alabama at the Alabama Weather Network. James Spann, the guys, 35 on top of Montesano Mountain as we look back southward here. Dew point currently 17. Now we'll slide over to Viper live Doppler radar, and nothing going on radar itself. Temperatures currently across the area, a few of us starting to fall back into the mid to upper 30s, but most of us still holding on to the 40s. We'll be into the 20s for the overnight instead of teens, with clouds thickening across the area, acting as a little bit of an insulating blanket. Do see the low pressure back in Arkansas. That's going to affect our weather over the next couple of days, bringing the potential for a few flurries and light snow showers. But the big story for the weekend is another Arctic blast of cold air that's going to give us wind chill values over the weekend near or just below zero before we shift back to more tolerable temperatures as we head into next week. Here's the Futurecast starting this evening, and I'll roll it all the way through Saturday evening so I can show you the snow flurries that we're looking at. Partly cloudy this evening. Clouds will continue to thicken as we head deeper into the overnight hours. That will act as a bit of an insulating blanket, so we're not going to get too terribly cold. I think we're going to be between the mid-20s to the lower 30s out there, and we'll likely hit our overnight lows before daybreak. It may be a little closer to midnight to 2 a.m., and then as clouds thicken up, the temperatures may rebound a little bit. Starting to get northerly winds picking up as we head into our Friday. Maybe a flurry during the daytime hours of Friday, but during the daytime, I don't expect a lot of activity. The northerly wind will pick up. I think before it does pick up and we get the really cold air in here, we have an opportunity to get into the mid to upper 30s for daytime highs tomorrow, but then turning colder deeper into the afternoon. We're headed for the lower teens, if not upper single digits around here tomorrow night. And then as we head into tomorrow evening and tomorrow night, you start to see the light colors of blue on the map, light snow showers and snow flurries streaming in from the north here on the backside of the low pressure area. Since we're not talking about a big Gulf low throwing moisture up into the cold air, we're not talking about a big snow here, we're not talking about a big winter storm. This is just the really super cold air squeezing out any available minuscule amount of moisture it has to work with. And you see the streamers of snow flurries and light snow showers continuing into Saturday. Notice it's not a big steady shield of snow. Notice there are gaps in this. This will be more like the summertime rain showers that you see, but it's snowflakes instead. That means that not everybody's going to get the same little dusting of snow. Not everybody's going to get the same amount. Some folks may miss it entirely. Not everybody's going to see it, but it will be out there, and we are going to be talking about the potential for some light snow accumulation across the area, because this will be happening when we're in the teens to the lower 20s, Friday night into Saturday. We've been cold all week. We've cooled down the ground temperatures. We've cooled down the road temperatures. So we are looking, even though it's a minuscule, tiny amount of snow and not a big snowstorm or anything, we are talking about light accumulation. But it's not going to be even across the entire area. It's going to be spotty and uneven, where some folks don't get it, some folks do. But the general here over southern middle Tennessee, North Alabama, far northeast Mississippi, looking at a general range from a dusting to a half inch, but keep in mind there will be some spots in here that just don't see any at all, and then other spots, especially closer to the higher terrain in eastern Madison County, Alabama, and the higher ridge tops in southern Middle Tennessee, a few of you isolated areas could see a little bit more than a half an inch. Now, because we're talking about cold roadway temperatures and things like that, there is the potential for a few slick spots across the area Friday night and Saturday. But the reasons why I don't think we're looking at widespread hazardous travel across the area, a few reasons. Number one, this will be what we call a dry snow. Because it's so cold, there's less moisture content in the snow. Unlike the snow you get at 32 degrees, where you have that little bit of moisture on the outside of the snowflakes, and then it's sticky and it's favorable for snowball fights and things like that. It's not that kind of snow. Once you get down into the teens and the lower 20s, there's less moisture content. It's a drier snow. That means it's able to blow around more, which means it may have a little bit of a harder time sticking and staying on the roadways unless you get out and drive it and compact it down into a sheet of ice. Now, if that happens, that's on you and not on the weather. But this is the type of snow to where it may be loose on the roadways and be able to move itself around with the strong gusty winds we'll have, because Friday night and Saturday, we're talking about wind gusts off and on 20 to 30 miles per hour. And then we'll have dry air in addition to this. And as the snow falls, that will help evaporate some of it. And once it does accumulate on the ground, that dry air will be sitting around. It will help eat away and sublimate some of that moisture content. Sublimation is pretty much like evaporation, but it's from where you go straight from a solid to a gas. You don't go through liquid first. You go straight from solid to a gas. So it's like evaporation of ice is what it is. So dry air, gusty winds, and dry snow type things will limit the travel impact, but there could still be some isolated slick spots Friday night into Saturday. I don't think it's a thing where travel is shut down. You're just going to have to be careful if you do go out, especially if your community is one of the ones that does lean a little bit closer to a half an inch. Again, we're not talking about a big snow here. We're not talking about a blizzard or a huge winter storm or anything. I want to make that very clear, given how there's always misconceptions on the internet. It's a light event. It's a spotty, uneven event. Some of you won't even see anything, but others may see a dusting to half an inch and a few slick spots. As we head into Sunday, the system pulls away. Still on the cold side Sunday, increasing clouds here Sunday night, maybe another flurry Sunday night into Monday morning, but that little wave is trending drier, so we've taken it off the 7-day. And then we start to get a southwesterly wind in here Monday into Tuesday. We're back into the 40s, and Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, we have another system coming across, but because of milder temperatures, this looks to be rain showers instead of wintry weather. We're actually going to have a night on the 7-day, Tuesday night, where the overnight low is above freezing here, which is a big change compared to where we have been for the past little while. But this weekend, we have big time cold coming, and that's actually the big story here for the weekend. It's not the light snow, it's the cold air and the wind chills. Because of the gusty winds, 20 to 30 miles per hour coming together with that cold air, we're going to have wind chills here Friday night, Saturday morning, Saturday night, Sunday morning in the lower single digits and even below zero. And in addition, with a few days nonstop below freezing again, we're also talking about pipe bursting cold. So yes, there's potential for some light snow accumulation, not a big deal from that. The big deal, the cold air that's coming in time for the weekend, but there will be moderation with that. We're headed back to the 40s here as we head Monday through Wednesday, and even when we step down a little bit from that toward the second half of next week behind that wet system Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, we're still only stepping back to the upper 30s for daytime highs on Thursday of next week with morning lows in the upper 20s. So at least for the next 10 to 14 days, the cold we have coming this weekend is the coldest air we have on the board, but still plenty of winter ahead of us. Increase of clouds for the overnight. Lows for most of us down into the mid-20s or so as we head into our Friday. Increasing clouds, especially by afternoon. There could be a few light flurries. And then tomorrow night and the Saturday, what we would call a few light snow showers. And again, the potential for a light dusting up to maybe isolated areas up to half an inch. Not a big snow, but there could be a few slick spots. Cold wind chills continuing into Sunday. We start moderating the temperatures in the next week, and a few rain showers Tuesday evening, Tuesday night, and into Wednesday morning. That's a look at your latest 7-day forecast. I'll be back at 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock with another check of your local weather.
You're watching the Tennessee Valley Weather Channel.
Finally, back